I'm Blake Bernard, and I'm a lieutenant with the Lennox Fire Department, and I have 6 years of service. Today we're going to be going over safety inspection of our Apparatus, which is a 2,000 gallon tanker pumper that we roll to any emergency we get called to. We'll start with the pre-trip inspection. It's a little smaller. It's what we do every time the truck leaves the garage when we're responding to a call. We're just gonna go around the truck really quick to make sure it's safe to move. Then we're gonna move on to a full safety inspection that we do here at the department once a month with all the members. It also includes a little bit of familiarization with what's in the truck, where it's at in the truck, and how it's used. So the first part of the pre-trip inspection starts under the hood. We make sure everything's good under here. So it all starts with checking the motor oil, checking the coolant, checking the power steering, making sure nothing's out of the ordinary. There's no sticks, twigs, any wildlife living underneath. So anytime we're under the hood, we're always looking for any cracks around any air hoses, any exposed wires. We're always checking our belts for tension, cracks, make sure all the blades are in the fan. All these rubber rad hoses are strong, not weather beaten. And we would also take a quick look at the air filter. Let's move around the truck. There's a rubber maul in the truck that you would use to tap all the tires. I think I have a firefighter that's going to demonstrate that for you. We always make sure there's nothing under the truck, that all the doors work, our seat belts all work inside the cab, and we just basically do a walk around, check everything, windows. You're always periodically checking underneath, making sure just everything's free. Doors are nice and shut and tight. So we're walking around the truck, we get to the tires. We want to make sure all of our tires are solid. We use a mallet. Some people like to kick them. I'm a tire kicker myself. Check the lug nuts. Look in between the axles. Our airbags are full of air, they're not cracked. Our leaf springs are not cracked. Everything looks good, and we keep continuing around. We got fire extinguishers. We'll check all our lights, make sure nothing's hanging off the back of the truck, make sure our tools are in tight. And then we come around this side, and it's just a mirror image. So we go through the same thing. We're checking inside the tires, make sure there's nothing lodged. There could be blocks, there could be any debris. We're checking here again for the leaf springs. Here's a rubber mallet that we use to check the tires. We want a nice hard thud. Everything looks good there. We do check lug nuts. Removing, just making sure everything's kind of nice and slammed shut. Nothing's hanging off. All these are off. Good. Doors again. Also checking windows. And the final part of our pre-trip inspection finishes off in the cab of the truck. This is the heart of the beast. This is where all the magic happens. So we got a power kill to go through. We turn on our ignition. We have all of our switches up top to run all of our emergency lighting. And then we start the truck. So we're checking, obviously, the fuel level, our air levels are good, our water temperatures, nothing seems out of the ordinary. We make sure that all of our lights are working. That sound that you just heard is the extra air that just blew off. So that sound indicates that your tanks have reached full pressure, and that noise lets you know that the truck is now ready to be moved.
My name is Marybeth Robshow, and I have 2.5 months left of my probationary period for Lennox Island First Nation Fire Department. I'm also a medical first responder, and I will be assisting in going through the medical bags and the fire hydrant equipment.
My name is Kelly Stark, and I've been with the Lennox Island Fire Department for 3 years. I am also a medical first responder, and I'm going to assist Logan with the medical bags and the hoses on the truck today.
Medical bags, probably the most important piece of kit on a fire truck these days, as more fire departments are responding to medical calls to help out paramedics. Anytime we do any checks on our medical stuff, it's always removing all the supplies from the truck, going through the bags, making sure we have what we need and we replenish what we've used. And we're just gonna go over everything in the bag. It's also a familiarization. Again, in the fire department, it's all about familiarization. We have stethoscopes, we have blood pressure cuffs, O2 saturation, right down to simple band-aids for little cuts and bruises. So we're always checking all of our medical kit anytime we remove it from the bag. And this little gadget that fire person Kelly is pulling out is a O2 saturation machine, which tells us the pulse, and there's an oxygen bottle that I'm handling in the video. Make sure it's full. That's a non-rebreather mask. There's our medical gloves. Just make sure things are nice and tidy. There we have a Narcan kit, naloxone. Make sure all the pieces are in there. And an AED. An automated external defibrillator for patients with cardiac arrest. We have multiple units on the truck. These are expensive pieces of kit, and they're made to save lives. Everything is strategically placed back in the truck for easy access and quick deployment.
My name is Logan Lewis, and I'm a medical first responder and firefighter with Lennox Island Fire Department. I have over 4.5 years of service. Today I'm going over the SCBAs, hoses and ladders on the truck.
Here we have firefighter Logan, and he's going to be taking our SCBAs mounted onto the truck out, and he's going to go over a little bit of how they work and what we look for. So the first thing when we're working with any SCBAs and making sure all the straps are completely loose for anybody who's going to don this unit. If you have the straps too tight, it's just going to be a problem. So we always make sure our straps are always fully elongated. Make sure our bottle's in nice and tight. That's a fiberglass bottle that you're looking at. The new composite bottles, a little lighter, easier for a firefighter to carry. That's an air pressure regulator. And at the back you can see Logan going through some checks, making sure everything is tight and ready to go. He's gonna open up the bottle.
Get you more air either in your mask or not as much.
He's gonna purge the system.
Make sure all
This piece of kit is extremely useful in any hazardous environment where we don't know what's in the atmosphere. There's some man-down alarms on it that can get pretty loud.
So to turn off your BA, what we're going to do is first do a little twerk without it on.
Everything's tight.
turn off your tank so no air.
Bottles turned all the way off.
That pressure's oxygen.
Gonna purge the remaining amount of air out of the face piece with that red knob.
And you can either press your yellow button 3 times.
And then we shut down the man down alarm so it doesn't go off in the truck.
Once or twice, but I'm not that lucky.
Now this set is ready to go to our next fire.
Make sure, since it's awesome,
And he's gonna demonstrate how it fits onto the mask and how it seals.
there you go. And since it's on, you know that it should be tight. You should have a good seal. And to take it off, you just push that back, click, turn. And that is all masks, all straps are loose. With this one,
Here's the face mask, and we're just making sure that the straps again are fully loose for the next person who's gonna don this face piece.
A lot of hair, not so much hair.
We always give it a wipe down with antibacterial wipes
In a safe manner.
after every use.
And there you go.
Make sure they're cleaned. And now we're placing the SCBA unit into the quick connect on the truck. Here is our line that we hook to a fire hydrant to fill the trucks back up with water. Here we have a gate valve that we use to control the water coming from the hydrant to the truck. This is a fire hydrant wrench. Don't forget it when you go to the hydrant. This unit here pulls the water out of our pools. This is where the water goes into the truck. That is a Storks fitting with 2 teeth. Goes in, quarter turn, click. And here we have the generator. Anytime we're going over the generator, we're making sure there's no broken wires or any broken switches or any leaks of gas. Make sure it has oil. Plugs are fully functional. We use these generators to power houses in our community during long power outages.
This is our ladders.
And here's our ladders.
We've got various kinds of ladders that we use.
An overlooked piece of equipment. You never know when you're gonna need a ladder, but when you need it, we got 3 on the truck at all the time.
10-foot attic ladder, which is what you see right up top here.
So this is our main fire ladder. I believe it's a 12 meter
Make sure your springs are good.
extension ladder.
Your ladders are all
On top of that, we have a little attic ladder. And then behind that set, there's also a roof ladder. Pull a couple pins and all those ladders lay beside the truck. And it takes about 2 firemen to unload 3 ladders and get to work.
that your locks on your ladders are in place. Screws are all on in the right areas. What else is there? We also have, you see right up here, each ladder has it in specific areas.
Those little red dots you see in the stickers, those are heat stamps. When that red color goes white, you know that the ladder was exposed to too much heat and it may have lost its structural integrity.
This is where we hold all of our extra bottles.
This is where we store our SCBA bottles.
Our visual.
And we're always pulling out the bottles, making sure they're full of air, obviously. And we check the inspection stickers to make sure that they're still safe to use. Now we're gonna climb up on the truck and we're gonna do a hose inspection. This is where a majority of the hoses lay on the truck, on the top, back, in lengths of 50 feet. Here we have a high volume line, which is a 4-inch. We have attack lines that are 2.5 inch. And shortly we're gonna show you the 1.5 inch attack lines that we have.
Primary outside resource
We're always checking our nozzles, making sure our connections are tight as the truck rolls up and down the road. Between fire calls, you never know if something could be loose, and whenever you hit the water, things start leaking. So periodically, you like to grab a hold of the nozzles, make sure that everything's free to turn, free to engage. And we also run water through the hoses periodically as well.
Looking at it, make sure that.
But today we're just doing everything dry.
This part in your fire line, because if so.
So after we're done putting the hose away, we always want to put the nozzle right at the end of the truck here, so it's easier for the firefighters to grab it right off the truck and drag the hose right off the top of the truck.
Check your lines. Always make sure.
Here we have our smaller 1.5" attack lines.
You can see these lines.
Definitely more common than a 2.5. Something that one fireman can carry and operate by themselves. Again, same thing holds true. We're just gonna go through the nozzles, make sure everything's free, not gummed up. These are our scene lighting lamps. There's 2 sets on the truck that rise up like this. Anytime we're on scene at night, we always need light.
This black tank, all you would do is just here, bring that up. This is where your foam will go, and we will just check, make sure that it's full, which it is.
Foam's mainly used for automotive fires.
And there we go. Make sure you lock it up properly.